All I can do is apologize for not putting out a lot of content the last couple of weeks. I had a lot of tooth work done, and then I got my wife's lurgy, which basically made me almost die, because you know how bad man colds are. So anyway, here we talk about the new anime movie that's a crossover that we never expected. But now I'm thinking this is the way they should go in the future. We have Baki Hanma versus Kengan Ashura, so let's dive in. It's the ultimate showdown. The toughest fighters from Baki Hanma and Kengan Ashura clash in the unprecedented, hard-hitting martial arts crossover. If anything, the film is too short, because we're used to having fights take 3 or 4 episodes, sometimes longer, and over a season we'll have 3 or 4 fights in a season, and we're working our way up to like the big bads of both Kengan Ashura and Baki Hanma, and we've seen various different art styles from both, but they kind of mimic each other in kind of the baseline of what the art design is going to be, and that's what you get in this one. It's a lot quicker in pacing because they only have the feature length of this movie, and it's not even a very long movie. Do watch the end credits. There's a clip at the end. I would say that the best fight is one that in this film is one that isn't a fight, and you'll know this when you see it and probably find it humorous. But as for the fights themselves, I really again want to see what's coming next, the fighters that we're going to see fight next. It's the tease that they always leave us on. If you at the beginning of this film going, I bet it's going to end like this, that's what I thought going into, and that's exactly how I thought. There's nothing new under the tin, but as a not wasting your time, as a very easy to understand 3-tiered arc, beginning setting up the premise of how they actually are in the same worlds, how the two organizations will come together and fight for whatever reason they bring it into. These guys in charge have now chosen some of the best fighters from their organizations, and now they're facing off against each other. That is kind of the premise for the beginning. The middle is those lesser tier fight scenes or fights that I actually thought were better than the main one at the end. I thought it was less impressive. I like the crazy one in the middle. I do think that the animation still is not what I want it to be. It's the sort of animation where you'll get a still and there'll be music, and there would be panning and screaming and voiceover, so you think you're watching a bunch of animation. It teases you into what you think you're watching. It kind of lies to you, and there's a lot of that in this animation. It's kind of their tried and tested formula that seems to be working for them. Now, because I like some of the characters, I'm invested now because I've been watching all of those, the seasons, and there's been some that have been less than good, and some of them have been okay. I know people fall on either fence of like which one is better and which one's not great. I don't think these are the best fighting anime out there, but I do feel like this is the way to go for the future. The pacing of this is excellent. The story gets to the point. You get to the fighting. You see those characters fight up against each other, and you see their crazy moves, and there's always this explanation of a narration of what they are, like who they are, how they got to be where they are, how their body got to be like it is. These guys are supposedly human, but they have like superhuman abilities within their bodies, undergo ridiculous training, like pulling a Formula 1 car, or weightlifting tanks. That sort of, they're human but they're also not. And so it makes it entertaining to watch what the characters are going to be able to do against the partners. But the actual fighting itself, it's not like a Shogun anime where you get to see the characters move that much. It'll be a fist in a face, and you see the blood and push against the cheek. But there aren't that many like movements of like hands being bent or grip locks or movements that you can see the animation of the bodies. More like kind of going back to Dragon Ball Z, where you hear the and then slow-mo punch to the face, or then slow-mo punch to the stomach. Which is okay, and it's not terrible. But I did enjoy this more than the series, but that's only because we've had both the backstories from both series. So this is definitely because they've established both of those stories already. They've now established how these stories can be together, both worlds together, and that we're probably going to have more of this film with both those franchises coming together. So I'd love to know in the comments below, what's your favorite? Is it Kengan Ashura or Baki Hanma? Kengan Ashura, or do you really like this version, like the movie? I think this was quite clever and a great idea. I didn't expect it, nor did I want it, but now that I have it, I think this was fun to watch. I'm going to give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
You got one.
Love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.